Alrighty, let's play this game. Enter my name. Guess I'll go Axelrod. Alright, this is a work of fiction. The characters, groups, and events portrayed within are not intended to resemble those of the real world. Should move this here.
It just doesn't seem to add up, Professor.
I honestly thought you were pulling my leg.
What? I wouldn't dream of it.
Professor, I hope this letter finds you well. As for me, I am in quite a predicament.
Really? This is probably what I need a controller for.
You see, the London we know and love has been thrown into absolute chaos. To complicate matters, the calamity I speak of does not take place in your time.
What's up, Mad Wormstick?
This may be difficult to believe, but I am writing to you from 10 years in the future. I know this is a lot to take in, but I'll explain it all soon. For now, I ask that you head to the clock shop on Midland Road in Baldwin. I look forward to seeing you again. Your student, Luke Triton.
Strange as it sounds, it seems that the author of this letter is none other than your future self, Luke.
From my future self? But how is that even possible?
I don't know, but it does raise the question, if this letter is indeed authentic, how did it get here?
By time-traveling postman? Just joking, of course.
But he's actually serious.
But on a more serious note, I think this mystery might be the oddest one we've ever encountered.
Indeed. And even in the future, you seem to need my help in solving it. Your constancy can be quite a comfort in these uncertain times, my boy.
Well, thank you, I suppose. But back to the main question. How do we know the letter is real?
Well, we haven't much to go on yet. But I can't help but think that this strange occurrence is connected to the terrible events of last week.
Right, got the strange letter.
It all started about a week ago.
Using a six-dimension alpha distributor, I was able to guide a concentrated stream of Hammer particles through a temporal vortex, more commonly known as a wormhole. This stream of particles allowed me to divine the terminal points of the vortex. Armed with this information, the next step was to artificially distort the flow of time and generate a massive magnetic field via a Sula coil. Once the magnetic field is firmly established, one has the ability, quite literally, punch holes, or hive gaps, into the very fabric of space-time. After this crucial step, it is simply a matter of constructing an energy gate.
Quite the spread we have here, Inspector.
Of course.
Though, it does make me wonder what we did to deserve invitations to such a feast.
It's obvious, Barton. I'm an influential man in the world of law enforcement.
What is Chelmy doing back anyways?
It's only natural I'd be invited to an important event such as this.
Can I press something else? Enter?
I suppose that's possible.
Possible, you say?
Probable. Highly probable, sir.
Tap an area to investigate. This is an interesting way to get started with the game. Appears to be the entrance to the machine. Do you suppose this time machine is the real deal? Oh, look at the size of that clock. Some people are watching the event through the window.
Oh, this food is simply dreadful, Bill. Do get this over with quickly so we can leave.
Oh, yes, dear.
They don't sound British enough for London? How British do you have to sound?
I have to say, I feel a bit out of place here, Professor.
That's quite understandable, Luke. I'm sure most people would feel the same way in the presence of the Prime Minister.
Hey, look! I think I see Inspector Chelmy over there. So, Professor, what do you think about this whole event? Do you believe that someone has really built a working time machine?
I'm not entirely sure. Still, if it proves to be true, can you imagine the stir it will cause in the scientific community?
Well, I, for one, am very excited. Though you don't sound entirely convinced, Professor.
Anything's possible, Luke. But I won't be convinced until I've seen the contraption work for myself. And I must confess, something about this entire presentation seems a bit off.
Why do you say that? Ah, of course. That must be your famous intuition talking, huh?
That's one way of putting it, but enough speculation. Look over there, Luke.
That guard? What about him?
He seems to be looking for a man who snuck into the event uninvited.
Oh, so we have an intruder in our midst.
I was gonna be like, man, is the game gonna be fully voice acted? That would be so cool. Well, the food certainly is, the food is certainly nothing to write home about. Sorry you feel that way, sir. I think it's quite scrumptious myself. Its over-salted chop and pile of wilted greens has nothing on Emily's cooking. If that's your feeling, sir, I'd be happy to relieve you of that burden. Now see here, Barton. If you don't return my chop to me at once, I'll have you driving a desk next week. It would be worth it. This roast is simply delectable. Oh dear, this is not going to go over well. You look troubled, sir. Might we be of any assistance? Yes, please. You see, I've just received a report of some untoward behavior. Right. In Picarats. There's an uninvited guest at the event, but the guard has received a few clues as to his whereabouts. His table is next to one with a red flower. His tablecloth is a different color than any next to it. Oh, and his table isn't decorated with a yellow flower. Next to means tables connected by dotted lines. Take the guard to the intruder. Alright, use the stylus, blah, blah, blah. Alright, his table is next to one with a red flower. His tablecloth is different color than any next to it, and it doesn't have a yellow flower. So, right off the bat, I see two possibilities. This one right here that doesn't have a tablecloth, and this one right here. And I'd rather start with this one. Next to red, doesn't have a yellow flower. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Here's my answer.
All right. Getting the first one wrong
No
would
puzzle
be
can stop
rough
Layton's
times.
apprentice.
Found the party crasher. Now it's time to let the guard do his job. Splendid work, my boy. Picarats are points that indicate a puzzle's difficulty. The more picarats a puzzle is worth, the tougher it is. When you submit an incorrect answer for a puzzle, the number of picarats you earn from that puzzle decreases, so think carefully before answering. Once you've beaten the game and saved, go to the bonuses section, yada yada, this and that. Thanks so much for your help. That fellow's mooching days are over. You see that, Professor? I just aided in the apprehension of a suspect. Oh look, the presentation is about to begin. Let's get back to our seats. Whole event's a waste of time, Bill. Wouldn't you agree? What's that? Yes. Nothing but a waste of time. Here's hoping the demonstration is brief. We do have places to be, you know. Click around and stuff like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking part in an event that will undoubtedly go down in scientific history. And here to demonstrate mankind's first time machine is its creator, Dr. Alan Stangan.
Thank you, my esteemed colleagues. After years of research in the field of time travel, I'm pleased to share the fruits of my labor. In just a few short moments, I will be moving on to our scheduled demonstration. But first, I'm delighted to announce that Prime Minister Bill Hawks is in attendance today. As such, I have reserved a very special seat for our very special guest. Please, join me on stage, Prime Minister. No need to be shy.
Is this thing real?
What do you mean?
I mean, is this contraption a genuine working time machine?
Why don't you have a seat? See for yourself.
This voice actor's sound is so familiar. For Stun Gun, yeah, I hear it too. I was going to mention it a little bit earlier, but I'm trying to pinpoint where I've heard him from. I feel like it's a Tales game. Also, what's up, Manadryan?
Before we start, would you honor us with a few words, Prime Minister?
Good afternoon, everyone. Today is a monumental day, not only for our great nation, but for the entire human race. Since the beginning of time, we humans have strived to transcend our natural limits. We have conquered the skies and the seas, and we have even traveled to outer space. But the one frontier that has always eluded us is time. Indeed, traveling through time is a dream many thought was out of reach for humanity. Until now. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you will join me in ushering in a new era for mankind.
Thank you for those words, Prime Minister. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Please take it away, Dr. Stangan.
I have just one more request before we start. I'd very much appreciate the Prime Minister's assistance in this demonstration. What do you say, Mr. Hawks?
I feel like it's Tales of Vesperia that I remember this guy from. He kind of sounds like Flynn.
What?
What about womankind? I know, man. Come on. That's half of the race you're leaving behind.
I assure you, there's no cause for concern.
But I was under the impression that I would merely be observing the proceedings.
Ah, well, do forgive my presumption. It was never my wish to make you uncomfortable. I realize it's been some time since you traded in the hard sciences for the softer variety.
I don't think it's Flynn, though, but it does sound kind of close.
Please, feel free to return to your seat, Prime Minister.
Wait. What I mean to say is, of course I can assist you.
Bill, have you lost your mind?
Ah, that's the courage we've come to expect from our fearless leader. You have my thanks. And now, without further ado, I give you my time machine. Mr. Hawks, would you mind just stepping inside?
Lamb O'Brien. Gaara and Naruto. Interesting. Luther and Jeanne d'Arc. Illidan Stormrage. That's where I've been hearing it. The guy is Illidan.
Huh?
What the dickens just happened?
Something's gone very wrong.
Oh, where is he? Someone find Bill!
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain calm and refrain from panicking.
This is chaos. The Prime Minister and Dr. Stungun have vanished.
My word.
Time machine demonstration goes awry, or awry, as I would read it.
So you think that what happened last week is somehow connected to this letter? Wait, maybe if the time machine was real, this letter is real too.
I don't know about that, but these two elements aren't the only puzzling issues. Tell me, Luke, have you heard about the recent disappearances occurring here in London?
Oh yes, I read about it in the paper. Some of London's greatest scientists have been mysteriously vanishing.
Yes, and I can't shake the feeling that those disappearances are linked to this whole affair. In any case, it seems our best course of action is to head to the location mentioned in the letter.
Good idea.
Yeah, who is gonna clean that up? That was a big mess.
Following the clue in the letter, the professor and I set on. What awaited us was one of the biggest mysteries we've ever encountered.
Professor Layton in the Unwound future. I can't believe I didn't get the Illidan storm range right away. To my dear friend Axelrod.
Somehow, a single letter had made its way back through time. And the sender, strange as it sounds, was me. The future me, that is. Little did we know that this letter would draw us into the strangest of situations.
Sure. I marked a little bit earlier. We'll mark here.